Place your hand down your breast and your bare stomach where your skimpy nightie is written up. Your legs part and you slip your fingers further down and start tracing the outline of your vagina slit with your middle finger. You rub back and forth, pressing the silky crotch of your panties between your labia. Feeling the warmth and dampness increase, you're careful not to vibrate the bed too much. Your boyfriend is asleep next to you and you don't want to wake him up.
You try to imagine what Curtis's dick looks like. You've noticed his bulge several times. It looks like it could be bigger than normal. Your hand sneaks into your panties as you try to visualize his thick, throbbing cock, full erection. You love to grab it and stroke it. You love to hear his gentle moans as you fondle his paws and jack him slowly. Then you put that beautiful cock to good use. You also want to grab and pinch, touch, and smack or even spank that rock hard, firm, tight ass of his too.
Your vagina is completely wet now and your fingers are slick with your juices. This is when you would normally start a full frontal assault on your clit and finger yourself to an orgasm. You're certainly frustrated enough to do that now, but a persistent thought causes you to hold off.
Curtis is just down the hall. Go on, take a look. He didn't bring pajamas. He might be naked in there. Just take a peek while he's sleeping.
The idea of spying on your boyfriend's friend ties your stomach into a nervous knot. What if you get caught? But the prospect of watching him sleep, seeing him vulnerable, maybe seeing more of him than you should. Suddenly it's all you think about. You rub your clit a bit more, hoping to drive away this dangerous impulse. But now, when you think of his cock, his chest, his ass, now when you think of him, you can't get over the fact that he's under the same fucking roof, just down the fucking hall.
Almost in a trance, you pull the covers over and swing your feet down to the floor. You tiptoe to your bedroom door and open it very carefully, trying to minimize the sound of a turning handle. You step into the hallway and ever so slowly close the door behind you, terrified of rousing your boyfriend.
You stand still for a moment, listening for any movement. Then you start tiptoeing down the hall to the room where Curtis is sleeping.
A floorboard creaks and you freeze, listening for any identification that you've woken someone. You still have a chance to pretend that you're heading for the bathroom, but this is a point of no return.
What's the worst that can happen? You ask yourself, tentatively resuming your journey.
You could get caught in the hallway. You can get caught in his room. You might just wake him up.
He might just grab you and fuck you right then and there.
Your heart flutters at the thought. He'd let him if he tried. He'd let Curtis have his way with you in a heartbeat. You're so fucking horny right now.
Mackenzie, what are you doing? You ask yourself in a hushed whisper as your hand reaches for the door handle for the guest bedroom.
Just taking a peek. You reply to yourself subaudibly as you gently turn it. Now shut up.
With your breath held and your ears straining for any sound coming from the room, you slowly, very slowly open the guest door. Then, when it's wide enough, you poke your head through the gap.
You can